This next podcast is brought to you by peakpotential.world and obviously me. I started peakpotential.world to help people just like you. Whether you want to start a successful podcast, become a content creator, monetize your social media channels, grow your social media channels, and anything in between. We cover various aspects, including marketing, sales, business knowledge, and everything you could physically need to start your own brand and quit that job that you hate. You'll have access to thousands of ebooks, masterclasses, weekly webinars, a networking group with other like-minded people just like yourself who want to do better. So what are you waiting for? All you've got to do is click the link in the description, sign up today, and I'll be giving you a bell later. But without further ado, let's get into the podcast. But don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and don't forget to drop a comment with your thoughts down below. It all helps. The more subscribers we have, the better the guests will be. I hope you enjoy the podcast, and I'll see you later. Dev.
Hello, Rich.
How are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
It's absolutely
Not too
fantastic to have you down, mate. And thank you very much for coming down. And
Yeah, happy to come down.
so, recently you've seen, before we go into sort of everything that's gone on, tell me a bit about yourself, mate. How did you become a town crier?
Wow. Became a town crier in the way that, I've always dressed and been a little bit of an extrovert, and not what you'd call the norm, but it's my norm.
Yeah, exactly.
And I had another town crier come up to me and say, he just turned around and said, "You talk as stupid and as mad as the rest of us. How do you fancy becoming a town crier?" And I said, "Well, I don't know about that. I've come to nantwich to retire. I don't want a job." And he said, "Well, that's not a job." He said, "I'll tell you what, just give it a go, see how it goes." And I'll never look back.
And did you know what a town crier was at this point?
No.
So what is a town crier then? For everyone that's watching and doesn't know, what is the purpose of a town crier? And what do they
Purpose
do?
of the town crier is, now it's more sort of for entertainment and the pomp and the heritage. But the town crier was, it's for giving information. Many years ago when it all basically started, you were employed by the realm because the peasants couldn't read, couldn't write. And the only way they got the information was through the town crier. So the town crier was quite an important person who could read, write.
Of course.
And, gave out the information to the peasants.
Right.
And that's basically how the news got around. It wasn't always good news, the peasants wouldn't...
Yeah, of course.
About taxes and one thing and another. And that's where, one of the laws came in, don't shoot the messenger.
That's where that came from.
And that's where that come from,
That's
don't shoot the messenger.
absolutely
Because, the town crier came out with something that the peasants didn't like.
Right.
That was it,
No way.
Could have got his backside kicked, but
Well,
yeah,
this
don't
is it.
shoot the messenger.
Don't shoot the messenger.
don't shoot the messenger. Yeah.
So, where did you start out as a town crier then? Where did that sort of...
I started out at Kids Grove, over at Kids Grove. I went over there, and I must have been there for about 18 months. But it came to a head. There wasn't really a lot to do over there. I was a bit of a town crier in name only, and I didn't want that. I didn't really want that, but it came to a head when it was the mayor's ball at that particular time. And, a town crier, you go in, you've got things to do, the pomp, the heritage, and the traditions that needs to be done. So I got over there, my wife was over there as well, and said to the mayor, "Okay, right, I'm here now, what would you like me to do?"
Yeah.
They just said, "Oh, just go and sit over in the corner there and enjoy yourself." And that was it. And I thought, well, you asked me particularly to come over here to help. And we just sat there, nobody spoke, nobody said anything, nobody done anything, and it was just glorified piss up, really.
Yeah.
And so after that, we left about 9:30, and nobody had even known that we'd gone. So
Shame.
at that point, I know Middlewich were thinking about a town crier. They wanted a town crier. And so I went over there, took my portfolio over there, done a presentation with the clerk. And they said, yeah, okay, you come along to Middlewich. And at that point, so after that, I resigned from Kidsgrove because I was just a town crier in name only.
Yeah. And do you think that was because there isn't so much there wasn't so much tradition there, or do you think that was just because it had sort of been phased out over time, or?
To be honest, Richie, I don't know. It's not. It's a small place. It's a small place. There's not really much going on over there. So, I mean, in some places when I town crier, there are places that've got town criers that they do very little.
Yeah.
Very, very little, you know. But that wasn't for me. You know, I want to be doing what I love doing.
Yeah.
So I resigned from Kidsgrove, and Middlewich took me on as their official town crier. At that point, there was loads going on. The Fab Fest over there. They have the Car Festival over there. Lots of things going on. Markets going on regularly. So I was over there regularly, and I really enjoyed myself over there. And they really looked after me. I loved over there. I've still got lots of good friends over there, lots of good friends that still miss me, and I still go over there now helping out.
Brilliant.
So, and then Nantwich came up, which is what I've always wanted. My manor, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
My place.
Yeah.
My place. You know, what a privilege and an honour to be, you know, town crier of your hometown. So, yeah, I put in for that and got taken on. And then what happened at Middlewich, at that time I was doing both, Nantwich and Middlewich.
Yeah.
And Nantwich were happy for me to do that.
Yeah.
And then what happened, the elections came up at Middlewich for the full council, and everything changed.
Right.
The old councillors got kicked out, and it was completely taken over by the Labour group. The Labour group.
Which makes no sense, because to me, a town council is full of town councillors who have grown up in that place and they're still there.
Well, that's it.
That's, to me, is what a council is.
Yeah. I mean, local councils, that is what it's for. Politics do not come into it.
No.
No matter whether you're an independent, you're a Conservative, Labour, Liberal, Green Party, or no matter what you are, politics do not come into it. Local council is there for the people to do the best they can for the town and for their people. That's what it's about.
Of course.
Not politics at all.
Well, it has no place. Like, it has very, very little to do with it anyway.
Well,
so there's no need for people to get involved.
No. But what happened at Middlewich was, so the Labour group completely took over, and they brought in the political side of things. And, well, Middlewich, it was just a complete and utter disaster.
And why do you think that was?
Because they made it political. They absolutely made it political, and it was just a disaster. I mean, now Middlewich, it's just not the same. It's just not the same.
No.
I mean, everything has gone down the drain. There are people over there that are still really, really bitter of what happened. You know, I became the town crier in name only again. Didn't do anything over there. Didn't go over there. I didn't want that at all. Things got sort of financial problems over there, and other things happened over there. They're still struggling now. I mean, the council they've got over there, they've got a completely new council.
Yeah.
And again, when you've got a completely new council to it all,
nobody knows anything about the town.
Well, nobody knows, and they're struggling. You know, it's a shame, really. It's a real shame, but everything is gone. They're starting from scratch again, and that's all because of what happened when the Labour group took over. You know, the Fab Festival was always run by the council. That's gone now. It's just run by independent, and it's not the same as it was.
Because the thing is, as well, like, especially with, you know, the actual town councillors themselves, is they've built up so many relationships over the time that they've lived there, been in that position.
Yeah.
And to take them away, do you know what I mean? You no longer have them relationships.
No,
so
that's
it's
right.
how do you start from scratch? You have almost got to go out and reintroduce yourself to everyone.
Well, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I mean, it's a completely new council over there now. They haven't got, as far as I know now, I know they didn't even have a clerk. Everything went completely. They brought a locum in. Whether they've taken on the locum now full time, I don't know. But at that particular time, they brought a locum clerk in, and she was there a couple of days a week, and that was it.
It's mad,
In all the finances, everything. It's just an absolute disaster, which is a shame because Middlewich I really enjoyed myself over there. It was a lovely place. People were friendly. They looked after me. I looked after them. It was a really happy place. But all that's gone now. I mean, they've basically got to start again.
I think a very big problem as well is that most of them now are working from home. So there's no communication between anyone.
No. I've done over there and done, well, I wouldn't say jobs, but I've been over there and helped out, a few times. And I still go over there now, to do what I've got to do. And when I go over there, it's, I'm being asked, well, what have we got to do? What have we got to do? Because I know the procedures, of mayor's ball or events this, events that, or whatever event it is. I know the procedures of the protocol of how to go on. I get asked for that as well. But anyway, so I became town crier name only, not got invited to anything because you don't actually turn up to anything, Richie. You have to be invited. Same as councillors are invited.
Right.
Because if you just turn up, it's like gate crashing.
Yeah.
So you don't do that. You're invited along.
Yeah.
So never got invited to anything, nothing at all. So, say Nantwich came up, applied for that, got that, done the two at the same time. And what was happening over Middlewich, I unfortunately resigned. I resigned from that. And
because of what was happening?
Yeah, because of everything that was going on. And, being town crier in name only, that wasn't for me. I want to do what I want to do. I want to do what I love, and be a part of it.
Absolutely.
And that's what I wanted to do. So anyway, I took on Nantwich, and I loved every minute. I've loved every single second of being involved. I'm busy this, busy that. Just love it. Just love what I do. And my favourite is keeping tradition.
Absolutely.
And the pomp. And I think that's very important because it is our heritage. We cannot afford to lose that heritage. It's our identity, and without that, what happens? You just lose everything. And you can't afford to do it. And Nantwich it's a historical market town with traditions, and we need to keep that.
Yeah.
We do need to keep that. Otherwise, you're going to lose that. You lose one thing, and then you're going to be losing something else. So before you know where we are, Nantwich is no longer a destination. We have visitors come in. It just becomes a place that you go through.
Yeah.
At the moment, you attract people in. We get people in. You only got to talk to anybody that comes round. Oh, what a fantastic place Nantwich is.
I always say it's like a mini Chester.
It is.
Do you know what I mean? It's a lovely, lovely place.
It is. It's absolutely, I just wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
No.
And I wouldn't.
No. It's got everything you need as well.
Yeah.
It's such a nice, and like we were saying before, it's a very, Crier is quite traditional anyway, but you go to Nantwich and it's a very traditional place, but also probably 90% of its population are into the tradition. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The dabbers are very, very protective of it. And I can understand that,
Yeah. And it's, after like, what's recently just happened and stuff we'll go into in a minute, but like the whole of, I've never seen anyone from Nantwich get so much. I mean, the dabbers could win that, you know, Nantwich Town could win whatever championship, and you're getting more engagement on yours at the moment than anything else that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I feel really, really humbled in the support that I've had from people. You know, I just can't thank them enough. You know, I never realised that what I was doing, that I loved doing, was so, you know, important to people. And that's important to me. I've always said, you know, if I can go out on a day, you know, and make somebody happy, give them a giggle and a laugh and a joke, and if they go home and say, "Oh, I had a great time," for me,
It's job done.
Job done. Yeah, I've done my job.
Yeah,
and that's what I enjoy with the people. You know, and one thing I do with you get the small little kids and they come running up. I mean, you always get called pirate and whatever, but
does that really annoy you when people do that?
Yeah, you always get a pirate. You know, so there you go. But obviously, you know, I'd have to be parrot at home. And I always get them. You know, they always have to think. I always say to them, "I can sing you a song. Give me a name, any name you like, and I know a song with that name in." Now, give me a name, Richie.
Edward.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. And that gets them every time when they walk away laughing.
Oh, that's brilliant. I'm going to use that. That's fantastic. So what does it mean? Like, obviously, we're going to it, but, like, obviously, what's happened has happened. But what would it mean to you now, Dev, to be able to come out of here and go and do what you're wanting to do now, what you've been doing for so many years? Like,
that would mean absolutely everything.
Because what does it mean to you? Like, what is the town crier? Like you say, what would it mean to you to go back into that now?
Everything.
Yeah,
everything. Just absolutely everything. You know, it would be just. I can't explain it, Richie. It would just mean so much. I mean, when I first took it on, it seems to, I don't know, it gets you. It's a bit like Marmite.
You
a bit like Marmite. And, you know, and I've got the taste of it. And I just absolutely love what I do. And that's why, you know, like I've said, you know, a lot of town criers, they're in it for that.
Yeah.
And some of them charge.
And is it a well-paid job, if it's a job?
Well, you see, a lot of them do private work. You do private work.
Right.
They do private work. You know, you can do open shops. You can do anything. I would do anything, and I have done anything. I'll never try. But some criers, you know, they go and open a shop, and they say, "Yeah, I'll open a shop. It's only a couple of hours' work. That'll cost you £300. You're only there for about a quarter of an hour."
I'm in the wrong job.
You know, and they go and do, you know, a talk WI or somewhere. Oh, yeah, that'll cost you, you know, a couple £100. So a lot of them make one hell of a lot of money of it, and that's what they do it for.
And you've never charged?
I've never, ever charged for anything, and I wouldn't do it because I'm not in it for that.
It's just pure passion.
Yeah, just pure passion. I love what I do.
I think it says a lot about what kind of person you are as well, mate, and that does.
You know, and, you know, when all this happened, I was just absolutely gutted.
Yeah, you can tell.
Just gutted.
You can tell by the Facebook
Absolutely
comments and
you know, had I have known that, you know, what was going to happen, would I have put it on? No.
Yeah.
Absolutely no. But I mean, I've done it because I was angry, and, you know, from my own experience of what happened at Middlewich, because I loved Nantwich and I'm passionate about it all, I didn't want that to happen to our town.
Absolutely. Out of passion,
You know,
like.
it may not have happened. It may not have happened, but there is always that possibility.
You've seen
that
it.
Could
you've
have happened.
Seen it happen.
So I'm just basically saying, I said that, you know, just be cautious. There's a possibility. Just don't let it happen, because this is what happened at Middlewich.
Yeah. So let's go into that. So what exactly? Obviously, it was about comments on your personal Facebook, which is completely irrelevant to everything anyway. What was said? What was said?
What was happening was that the Labour group wants to change the way the mayor is chosen for the municipal year. At the moment, the mayor, well, you either have a mayor or a chairman.
Yeah.
Or chair. We have a mayor, which again, it's important because it's tradition, it's his history.
Of course.
It needs to be, kept in place. And at the moment, so it depends on, it's a recognition for how many years you've been on the council, what you've done for the town and for the people. To be mayor, you get recognition for that. And I think that is the way to go. I mean, most places do that.
Yeah. And it's a very, like you say, it's a very
Most
traditional
places do
thing
that.
as well.
But the Labour group wanted to change that. They wanted to change that, the way that the mayor was chosen. And if that had happened, then the possibility, if you'd have had a Labour mayor, I mean, not all the Labour people, not all the Labour group I'm talking about. There is one particular person that is a real credit to Nantwich. She's a lovely, lovely person. She supports Nantwich no end, and she's done a lot of work for Nantwich. So but anyway, she's Labour. Okay, fair enough. Politics don't come into it.
Yeah,
but they wanted to change the way it was, the way that the mayor was chosen. And if that had happened, and if the person that I directed the comment at had got what he wanted, then the way the council would run, it would have changed completely, like it did at Middlewich.
yeah.
He wanted to bring the politics into it. And for local council, it is not.
There's no place.
It's not.
It's got nothing to do with it.
Got nothing at all to do with politics at all. At all. It's there for, they're there for the people. That's why you vote for them.
Yeah.
You vote for them to do the best they possibly can for the people and for Nantwich. And that's what they're there for. Doesn't matter what political views you are, that goes out the window. But if that had happened, then the possibility could have been Middlewich all over again. And I just wanted to highlight that.
Out of pure passion, though. Like,
Out of pure passion.
It's not even like you were personally attacking someone. It's you have said something based on experiences that you've had
experiences,
before.
But when I said it, I must admit I was angry the way... I was just angry when I said it. Well, also, I wanted to highlight as well.
Yeah. Well, you think, what would be the case if that did happen? What would it look like after? Why do you think they wanted to do that? Or he wanted to do that person?
Power craze. He's that power craze. That's what they're after, power.
Yeah.
And power is dangerous.
Yeah. Especially it's a very small town as well.
In a small town. Power is dangerous. I mean, you can see right throughout the world, the people that have got power, they're all dangerous. And that's what would have happened. It would have been dangerous. Anything could have happened. This one person, the council has always been, as far as when I've been involved with it, they're a really great bunch of people.
Yeah.
They've all of them have become friends. I still go in the office, I have tea, coffee with them. I still see them outside. And they're a great bunch of people.
Yeah.
Well, it's just this one particular person. He's just power crazed. Power crazed. Wants to change the way things. I've even been told by us. I'm not going to mention any names because people can get into trouble.
Well, people know who it is anyway, don't they?
Well, people know who this person is, yeah. But even at the count, again, I know them all. Even at the count, he was stood by this particular person who he didn't know who it was. And when the results come out, he went, right, now we're going to sort this lot out.
Wow.
And that was at the count. So from that point, you can just tell what he's after.
Yeah.
What he's after.
He's power mad, like.
That's it. He just wants the power. And, the power will destroy things.
Oh, absolutely. Especially, like we were saying before, Nantwich is a very, very traditional place. And it's amazing that everyone's kept it going for so long now. Because like you said, you look at some towns and they might have a massive tradition there, as in history-wise and stuff like that, and it's never ever mentioned. Do you know what I mean? Because of whatever reason, politics or, whatever's come in. And I think it's amazing what everyone's done so far to keep that going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it is a very traditional town, and it should keep going.
It's heritage. It needs to be.
Absolutely.
It's heritage. I mean, you've got your Holly Holy Day, and
the Battle of Nantwich and
jazz fairs, all the rest of it. It's a real,
which attracts a lot of people from the outside, which is a huge,
it's a real
income
town,
as well for the what's it called?
I mean, I had a couple the other week. Went to, because I always go to the Mayor's charity quiz.
Yeah,
help out there, and I had a couple in. I was in Marks and Spencer's. I had a couple in there, and they said, "Oh, hiya, Dev," and I thought, didn't recognise you. Don't recognise some people, and we really missed you. Really missed you at the Mayor's quiz. I said, "Oh well,
that's nice, isn't it?
Just hoping one day we can get back to it."
Yeah.
But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what happened after that then, Dev? So after making the comment, I wasn't even bad. What happened? You were just going about your normal day.
Yeah, no. I just had a phone call. I had a phone call from the clerk saying I've had a complaint about your comment on social media.
Yeah.
You can guess where it's come from.
This was the bloke in question.
You can guess where it's come from. I said, oh, right, okay. Anyway, there's going to be a meeting about it, staffing meeting. There's a possibility that, we'll have to step you down.
Mm-hmm.
And it was done. They had a meeting. It was what they call a staffing meeting, again behind closed doors, so nobody knows what was said. And then I had a phone call saying, "Really sorry, Dev. We know, what you've done for us. The tradition and all the rest of it. You've been a great value to the town, but I'm afraid we've got to let you go." So. And that was it. And I thought, what? Can't believe this, I thought, can't believe this, and I was really gutted, absolutely gutted about it. And I thought, well, I've just said it as my own person. Just said it as me, if I hadn't been town crier and I'd just been, as it was me doing it, would I have had a phone call or... Well, nothing would have happened.
No.
Nothing would have happened, But I was just totally gutted with it all. And anyway, so many people just got behind me.
It's blown up like.
Yeah, I felt, I just couldn't believe it. Just could not believe it. I mean, every time I go in town now, people are saying, when you coming back? When you coming back? When you coming back? I don't know. I can't answer that. I don't know what's going on up there. Bloody council. This.
Yeah.
I have to say, everybody is blaming what's going on with the whole council. It's not the whole council.
No.
You've only got to get one person or two people, another couple of people backing that one person that can make things difficult.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened. You've got the councillors that have been on there for many, many, many years, and they've done really, really good work, and they continue to try and do good work, but you've got this spanner in the works.
Yeah, you're having loopholes to jump through now.
So
the rings of
that's
fire.
what causes a lot of the problems. So, it's not the whole council. You've just got this little part of it that's causing major problems.
Mm.
And 2 years' time, this is what they're saying, 2 years' time, hopefully, it'll all change, and then they can get back to normal.
But then the damage is already done.
The damage is already done.
How'd you go back?
Well, there you go. So, I mean, it's a bit like, Middlewich, like you just said, how'd you go back? And they are really, really struggling. So, but anyway, then these people contact me about getting a petition. They found out about how to get a petition up, and they only needed 100. All they needed was 100 signatures.
Yeah.
For it to be on
legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all we wanted. We could have got a lot more. They could have got hundreds.
Could they not let it go over? Did it not go over?
Well, it had to be on the agenda. It was on the agenda for the April meeting. For the April meeting. I mean, they were still collecting a few, but all you needed with any petition for the council is 100, and that's it, for it to be discussed.
Yeah. And how fast did you get them 100?
Oh, blimey!
That's from local.
Yeah,
general
from
public,
local people. They had 100 within about 2 or 3 days.
That's crazy, isn't it? So you could have got a lot more
about
than
2 or
that.
3 days. They said, "Well, we got 100. That's all we really need."
Yeah.
I think that they can tell they got about 120. So it had to go on the agenda to be discussed, and then somebody requested. I don't think I better mention the names because somebody requested and emailed the office and said, "Look, this ought to be discussed in an open forum." It was Dev was appointed in an open forum, and this should be discussed in an open forum to let people hear what was going on and let people have a chance to have their say.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't have it. Everything has been done behind closed doors. Everything. And that's why people, even you can see it on the comments, people are suspicious. What's going on? What's happening with the council? I've had somebody on there who was an ex Cheshire East mayor. So there's saying that the clerk was given the wrong information, and it should have been discussed in an open forum. Everything what they're doing has been wrong. It shouldn't have happened. And then I've had other ex-councillors saying exactly the same. Shouldn't have happened. All right, maybe give them a slap on the hand to say, look, don't do it again, this, and just carried on. And again...
Well, even that. It's on your personal Facebook.
Yeah, and again, even there's been comments on there saying, is somebody pulling somebody's strings? So everything has been a bit suspicious, and maybe if it was discussed in an open forum, perhaps things might be different again. I don't know. But all I know, Richie, is, I've told the clerk I'd come back tomorrow, and I would. I'd come back tomorrow. I just love doing it.
You just want to go back to doing what you're doing.
Doing what I love doing, yeah. I've been in Nantwich 3 years. I've been a volunteer. I've asked for nothing. Originally there was going to be an honorarium. It's never been mentioned. I've never asked for it because I'm not interested in it. So I've cost the council absolutely zero. Cost nothing.
It's almost personal.
Yeah, I just love doing it, and the amount of liveries I've got now, I've invested over them 3 years with replacement of things and the liveries I've got. I must have spent about $3,500 personally.
Wow. And you've never asked for anything back?
I've never asked for anything back. No,
You've done it pure out of love,
I just do it out there, and I love doing it. And, all I want to do is come back.
Yeah.
Not just it's not for me. It's
for everyone around.
It's for everybody around. It's just seeing the smiles on the people's faces, the kids. It's the heritage, the pomp, the tradition. Everything, all that. It needs to be kept alive. We need to keep all that. We need to keep our identity in Nantwich.
Yeah.
The pomp and everything about it. I enjoy doing it. Tradition is very important. We need to keep our identity. You don't want to lose anything.
Yeah.
You can't afford to lose it.
No, absolutely. So what's What's next then, Dev? What do we do? What is the answer to all this?
Again, on the comments, people are saying that they ought to have like a bit of a demonstration in the square. This is what they're talking about. A demonstration in the square.
Pitchforks, some fire.
Get me down there. Get me down there, and let the people ask me what happened and ask me about everything and what I want to do. You know, and get me back.
Yeah, it's been amazing having you here, and I hope we can get something done and finish it.
Yeah,
and get you back in where you should be.
Yeah.
But before you go, look into that camera. Speak to the people in Nantwich and tell them whatever you want to say.
All I want to do is just come back, you know, as being the official town crier of Nantwich. For the people, it's important we keep our identity and tradition going to the history of our market town. You know, I love what I do. I cost nothing for the council at all. I'm free for everything that I do. I do whatever anybody wants me to do. And I think one thing that I'd like to say is the council is there to do the best they can for the people of Nantwich and to do the best they can for Nantwich. So maybe now they might listen to the people of Nantwich, because that is what they're there for. They're there for us. They're there for you. I hope one day we can be down in the market again and having some fun. Thank you.
Dev, thank you so much for that. That was lovely. And I hope this will be out in the next couple of weeks, and we'll get you back into where you rightfully should be, mate.
Yeah, if you send us a link, then I'll put it on the community as well, so other people have been asking about it.
But mate, thank you so much for coming down.
Okay.
Honestly, and I wish you all the best. And if you need anything from me, give me a shout. Let me know, and we'll get it done.
All right, Rich.
Cheers, Dev.